Hi, this reading is for Veronica. Veronica, thank you so much for allowing me to do your reading again today. So it does seem like currently there may be some issues going on financially, things with money. The economy is really rough on everybody right now, so this isn't surprising that this has come up in quite a few readings for people lately. There's just the needing to manage your money and your resources a little more carefully than you'd like to. I do feel like, you're trying to gain control of your life again. And, you're finding a way to kind of reestablish a way of living that works for you. And doing that and nurturing that and fostering that, you're protective of what you're creating at this point. All these changes that you've had, all these things that have happened, both negative and positive, kind of have happened all at once in a short period of time for you. So, you've had everything that you've known kind of threatened. And so you're worried about having that sense of security, safety, taken out from under you yet again. So you're very protective of what you're creating in your life at this point. You have really played things safe overall. You haven't made a lot of huge risky decisions with things in the way that they're going. And that's helped you to really start to build something new, even though it was something you had to put together fairly quickly. But you're protective of that, even in its newness. It's yours that you're creating and you're starting for yourself. So, you're kind of in that protective mode with things. As far as challenges, I feel like right now in life, your challenge really is still processing everything. You're still having to really go back in and deal with a lot of the inner feelings of everything that's happened during this, though, and it's increasing. You really are becoming stronger. You're becoming resilient, and there's that meme about I don't want to become resilient and stronger, and I can't remember exactly how it goes, but you've had so much thrown at you that you're just like, stop, give me a break with this. Okay, I don't need any more strength at this point. But you're working through that, and you're getting just control over your emotional well-being again, because all the feelings, those deep feelings that you wrestle with, they're expected, they're normal for what you've been through, so that's just the challenges when those kick up, learning how to work with them. Now, as far as consciously, you are, you're aware that things, while they're getting better, they're still off a little bit. You're finding the balance. Again, this is all fairly new changes that have popped up, and a lot of things haven't fallen into place or flowed as nicely as you would have liked them to. Right now, consciously, you need to kind of get back into alignment with who you are, and deeply who you are, your authentic who you are once again, and redefining that, because what previously identified you, those roles as wife and mother, those are to the wayside more at this point, and it's really you trying to figure out who you are all over again, and falling in love with yourself in the process, because I feel like that is definitely a part of the process going on. This is a real leveling up for Veronica, and it's going to create a lot of positive change. So I feel like you're aware that these things are happening, and what direction that's heading for you. Subconsciously. So now we talk about the things you might not be as aware of that are going on. And I think you might not fully grasp how frustrated this whole damn process has been for you. Part of that, Veronica, it stems from the fact that you kind of have, I want to say, a passive approach with things. There's been situations that have really frustrated you, and you kind of chose to wait to see how they would play out instead of taking a proactive action on them and kind of taking control of them on your own. And because you let them play out the way that they did, it's kind of like you kind of let things resolve on their own. So you were left to deal with whatever solution or situation came out of that. And that had a little bit of ramifications in that choice to do that. So I think you're sometimes subconsciously unaware of just how passive you could be. But I feel like that's also part of your growth process and redefining yourself and learning to be a little more proactive over your own life. So again, talking about recent past, it does feel like you were a little bit out of sync with loved ones in your life. Um, there were certainly some kind of communication issues that had happened in there, and you weren't embracing and honoring what your value is to them. Okay, I want you to listen to those words carefully. You were not embracing and honoring what your value is to people in your life. So, to me, that would mean that you're not fully putting yourself on the pedestal that you deserve to be on, is basically how another way I want to reword that. You've also had to make a tough choice. And that tough choice, it did challenge your values quite a bit. And there was a lot of inner conflict that went on with this decision. It wasn't easy. It feels like you were truly sitting down with your thoughts, and there was just a war in your head. You were at war with yourself over making this choice. And the conflict was more within your inner self than any external force involved. So that had to be difficult for you. Now, as far as your near future, you still are going to have choices popping up, that need to be made, but these feel more like opportunities. So more so positive things than having to make decisions about a difficult situation on a whim. This feels like there's opportunities for growth and good things to have come in here. When these come, take your step back and definitely, prioritize what you want for yourself, and pick the things that are going to make you happiest before you make these type of decisions, because you're really at like basement level building up right now. So you have the opportunity to create whatever you want. So let's start choosing the things that really make Veronica happy while we're doing that. Advice for you. You are going to, again, be where you're planning your future. And you're going to be doing this not from a state of panic, but again, from more of a comfortable position than you've been making other choices. Be prepared to stretch out of your comfort zone. Again, this is your period of growth you're coming into, so it's going to feel a little unnatural. It's going to take a little bit more effort, but it's going to have a lot more positive results. So it's going to be worth the hard work. You can think big. It's okay to think big. You don't always have to think small scale with things. And consider what doors are going to open to you as you start to develop that ability to choose big, good things for yourself. And while you're doing this period of exploration, because I feel like you have, again, the ability to really create something very authentic to you and what you want at this stage in your life. I'm going to cut this in half so it uploads properly. Part 2 coming up.